Let's continue with chapter 7, array. Last time I introduced how to create an array and how to walk through an array. We know array is a collection of memory spaces. There are many slots. In each of the slots, we can put a number or string or some other objects over there. So we can access each object in the array by its index. The index starts from 0. Okay, so I'm gonna use this code to show you guys how to do some basic operation about an array. This code is very long, so let me introduce this code piece by piece. First one, let's open the IDE. JGrasp. Okay, let's create a folder. Let's get into the folder, create a file. Okay, first one, let's copy the first part of the code. Okay, now let me introduce what we are doing here. Let's check this code. This code is super simple so far, and we created a scanner which can let us to read in something from the keyboard. And here, I would like to input a size from the keyboard. Suppose I would like to create an integer array, but by default, before we run this program, I don't know how many numbers I would like to have in this array. So we can ask the user to type in, hey, what's the size of the array? Okay, that's why we can define a variable size. Then we are using this sentence to create memory, to allocate the memory. Let's run this program. Okay, suppose I create the size 4. Once I run this program, there's nothing, there's no output because I didn't put anything here. Okay, then let's do the next piece. I copy the next piece of code here. Okay, so check here. Once I allocate the memory, okay, I write a for loop to give the initial value for the whole array. Because so far I know I created an array which can save many integer numbers. Okay, so I'm using this for loop to give each value, each slot an integer value. Check what I did here. I'm using a for loop. Okay, starts from I equal to 0 and walk through down up to I less than array dot length. This dot length is a predefined constant. Actually, it's not constant. It's a predefined variable in any array in Java. Okay. So we know once we run this one, we're gonna ask user to give each element in the array a value. We're using the input dot maxint to read this integer value and assign this value to each array element. Let's run this one. Check here. Okay, suppose I give the 4. I'm saying I give the first element 10, 20, 30, 40. That's it. Okay, we give this array each element. Okay, let's copy the next piece. Next piece is called display the elements. Okay, actually we have learned this one last time, and we can use a for loop to walk through the whole array one by one and display each of the elements. Okay, let's run this program again. I'm saying, hey, I give this array size is 4. I give the first element 10, second element 20, 30, 40. Okay, once we give the value, we're gonna use this piece of code to display those elements. Check here, this one is a placeholder, and for each element. And at the end, I go to a new line. So I'm gonna print out the 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. Let's move on to the next piece. Is we can calculate the summation of all elements. This is very often. Suppose we save all students' midterm grades in one array, and we would like to calculate the average score. Hey, initially we supposed to calculate what's the total grades from all students, right? So, okay, there's a basic operation is like what we did before. Remember, we calculated how to get the summation from the number 0 to number 100, right? And what we did there is we need to give a variable and assign the initial value 0 to this variable. Then we can use the for loop to walk through the whole array and plus all those elements, all those values to this variable sum. At the end, I print out the sum. Let's run this program again. Okay, I'm saying I still give the same inputs. Suppose 4, 10, 20, 30, 40. And see, I'm gonna print out the sum of the array is 100. Okay, this is also very often operation. Another very often operation we would like to have in the array is we would like to check what's the maximum value or what's the minimum value in the whole array. Okay, let's use the maximum value as the example. Okay, to find out the maximum value of the array, we know we can use if sentence to check one by one. And initially, I give the first element, see here, I assign the first element to a variable max. Okay, then I can compare max with the rest of the elements. If an element is greater than the current max value, I'm gonna assign this value to the max. If not, we just keep going, move forward to the next elements, walk through to the next elements one by one. Okay, at the end, we're gonna print out, hey, what's the maximum value? Let's run this program again. Let's give the same input, 20, 30, 40. Okay, see here, I can show the maximum array is 40. If you would like to, you can write your own code to find out the minimum element in the whole array. Okay. To find out the maximum value, for real is pretty good, but however, in the array, it's very often we not only to find out the maximum value, but also we would like to know the location of the maximum value in the whole array. So this one is called, we would like to find out the index of the largest value. Let's check what do we do here. Let's copy this code to here. Okay, check here. Actually, we're gonna do the exactly same thing as what we did in finding out the largest element. The only thing different is we would like to create a new variable called index here. Okay, since we give the first element, the index is 0 to this variable. Okay, so we assign the index of the largest element is 0 okay, to index. It's the initial index. Okay. Once we find out an element greater than the current maximum value, we're going to save its value to this variable and save the index of this value to the index variable. Once we finish everything, we're going to print out, hey, what's the index of the largest element in the whole array? Okay, let's run this program. It's the same input. See here, we're gonna say the index of the largest element is 3. Why? Because the array is 10, 20, 30, 40, index from 0, 1, 2, 3. So the index 3 has the largest value 40. That's it. Okay. The next piece, the next one, we are also using this function very often. It's called shuffle. Okay. It's very often we have the array. Suppose I give an array, but suppose I would like to do some operation or call rows or random pick up someone to answer the questions from my students. Okay, we may just go ahead to shuffle the whole array, change the order. We random change the order of the elements in the array. Okay, so what do we do here? We know we are gonna have the random number. Okay, let's check here. First one here. For real, there are many ways we can do the random shuffle. This way is a very, very naive way to implement the shuffling. Okay, let's check. I write a for loop. There's nothing special. In each iteration, I would like to create a random value G. G actually is a value, a random integer number from 0 to the length -1, right? Suppose if we give the size is 4, and this one will generate a random number from 0 to 3. Okay. Once we have this one, we're gonna swap the element at I and the element at J. Do you guys still remember how to swap, right? That's how do we swap two numbers. So once we complete the random shuffle, we're gonna print out these elements again. Print out the elements in the array again. Let's run this program. I give the 4, 10, 20, 30, 40. See, this is the new array we have after random shuffling. They put the first element is 30, then 40, then 20, 10. Okay, this is a little bit interesting. Okay, this is the array we shuffled. The next operation is called shifting. Okay. Let me explain what the shifting means. This is also very often you can see. Either we can shift, suppose we have the array like this one. This is the array we created, and we have the size is 4, right? Like I tested the code. I was using this array. I give the number 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, see here, the shift means I'm gonna move 20 to 10, 30 to 20, 40 to 30, and move the 10, come back. So it's more like this way. I'm gonna, if I would like to move the whole array to the left, okay, which is more like we would like to do this way. Check here, and check here. It's more like we are doing this one. I move the 20 to the left, 30 to the left, 40 to the left, and move the old first element to the last. Okay, we just rotate the whole array one position, but call this one as shift the array to the left. Okay, let's check how do we do this one by code. So initially, I save the array, the first element, to a variable. Then I shift the rest elements in the array to the left one slot. Check here. This loop for loop starts from 1 to the end, right? To the end of the array. And for each of those elements, I'm gonna save the array, the value at index I to the slot with at index I minus 1, which means we are gonna move each element to the left one slot. Okay, at the end, I save the first value of the array, okay, to the end, to be the value of the last element of the array. At the end, I print out this array again. Let's test this code one more time. So suppose I have the 4, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. Before we do the random shuffling, our array is 10, 40, 30, 20, right? And we would like to shift this array to the left, which means we move 40 to here, 30 to here, 20 to here, and 10 to the end. Okay, those operations are operations we're gonna use very often with array. Probably in your code, you're gonna use some of those operations. Plus, I would like you guys to use those code to practice and understand how to control array and how to use the array to implement some functionalities. Thank you.